I'm Midas Redding. I'm half VTuber, half dumbass. I blame Hana for getting me into this. The writer is Donatello. The person who's going to be reading the narration, I'll let you take a guess who that's going to be. Uh, all
Do
right.
not proud. Don't do them proud, bro. Go.
All right,
Go.
let's fucking do this.
You can do it, company!
Let's
All
go,
right.
Midas!
All
Let's
right,
go, gay porn! Wow!
Good luck.
A parked car called Yaren by Benannual, Donatello, and Midas. Geoff Keighley, late 40s, is in a gas station. Hankering for a hunger fix, Geoff glides down the station's convenience store, running the tips of his fingers against the rows of chips on either side of him. A bag falls to the ground at the suggestion of his touch. The chicken whizzies. This will be his prize. Out the corner of his eye, a glint in the sun flashes through the station window. It's his silent traveling partner, signaling, waiting in the Geoff-mobile for Geoff to return with snacks. Geoff piles all his stuff carefully into his arms and waddles out the gas station and over to his car, known, of course, as the Geoff-mobile. It's patented, look it up. Geoff taps on the car window, trying to get the attention of his road partner.
Can you get the door?
There's no movement. No one will be coming to his rescue this day. Geoff sighs and puts all his stuff on the ground to open the car door. He climbs in, attempting to pick up the chicken windies and close the door in one swift movement.
Kinda rude, Kojima-san.
The door slams behind him as he sits down in the passenger seat. He looks over to his partner in the passenger seat. Buckled into the seat is an ornate, beautifully framed portrait of esteemed video game developer, Hideo Kojima. A smile on the man's face, a mischievous twinkle in his eye. The moment frozen in time, like something that gets frozen in stuff. Amber, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, I can't stay mad at you, Kojima-san. How could I stay mad at that smile?
The photo continues to smile.
I hope you use the bathroom. Well, we won't be stopping anytime soon. We can't make any more pit stops if we want to go to Cologne, Germany in time for Gamescom 2025.
The car key clicks and the engine rushes to life. The two drive off in the horizon, eager to attend Gamescom 2025 on August 19th. Some time passes, then more time. So much time passes by. Still in Canada. Still wondering where in Canada was Cologne, Germany.
I think we might be lost, Kojima-san.
But Kojima knew exactly where they were going. Everything was going exactly to plan. The portrait grinned its mischievous grin at the Canadian wilderness flew by. If photo of Kojima had his way, this would be a night they would remember for a long time. Until...
Oh, fuck, bud. I think I popped a tire.
It's the voice of the car. The car had popped a tire. This was not part of his plan.
Sounds like we popped a tire. Better pull over.
Geoff had done this 1,000 times. Back in the Spike TV days, the roads of Canada were treacherous. Couldn't go 100 feet without going over a carefully placed thumbtack or plank of wood with one big nail sticking out of it. He pulled into the side of the road and flicked on the hazard lights. Even though there probably wasn't a car for miles, Geoff needed to know his fellow drivers would be able to see him in distress and not just pulled over for a whiz.
Kojima-san, help me get this wheel out of the boot.
Kojima didn't react. He didn't so much as blink. He knew Geoff had this handled, and that his help wasn't really needed. This was clearly a test, and Kojima was going to pass that test with flying colors.
You are so unhelpful sometimes, Kojima-san.
Geoff got out of the car and assessed the damage.
Looks like the back left wheel. Let's see what's causing the damage here.
Geoff pulls a giant spike out of the damaged wheel. The car honked a horrid car-like honk of pain. Honk! Ouch, that doesn't look too good. There's no patch in this tire. I'm gonna have to change the whole thing. Luckily, I always keep a spare. Geoff pops the trunk and lifts out his luggage, his collection of Revolver Ocelot burlesque photos, and pile of old newspapers.
Aha!
Geoff lifts off the floor of the trunk to reveal a spare tire, a jack, and a tire iron. He rolls the tire to the back left of the car.
Kojima-san, I'm serious. I could really use your help here, buddy.
Kojima Photo, hearing the serious tone of his partner's voice, physically permitted Geoff to lift him out of the car. Geoff gently lifted the picture out of the car window and over to the repair zone, his firm gamer grip holding on tight to the petite frame. Kojima Photo never felt safer than when in the embrace of his good friend. Geoff lowered the photo down next to the busted-up wheel. Kojima was now eye level with the problem child of a tire. Activating his high-exposure form, Kojima enveloped Geoff with a warm glow. He would now have the tools necessary to make a great cylinder exchange. Geoff could feel the change immediately, his heart pounding, arms pulsating with Kojima's exposed might, his neurons firing a million a minute. With his photographic friend holding him so close, there was no tire he couldn't change.
I feel it. The power coursing through me.
With the strength of 1,000 suns, Geoff and his phantasmal partner placed the jack below the car. But before any jacking could begin, there was the issue of the nuts. Hand in spiritual hand, Geoff and Kojima twisted each nut on the face of the wheel. Not big enough to make a mess, but enough to loosen things up a bit. With the nuts prepared, the cranking could begin. The jack was old and rusted, but that wasn't about to stop these two virile men from having their fun at Gamescom 2025. Geoff and Kojima braced themselves for resistance, knees firmly placed on the ground. These two began jacking the old handle. Geoff feels his knees buckle under the might of old Jack. He cries out a manly cry to his partner, Kojima-san! Kojima says nothing, despite being able to talk telepathically as an apparition. He takes a deep ghost breath and focuses the breath onto Geoff's palms, upper arms, wrists, and lower legs. Geoff feels the warmth of his partner in his palms. Old Jack was about to get jacked up. The old machinery put up a respectable fight, but not enough to curb the pair's desire to reach Gamescom 2025. They really want to go to Gamescom. The jack began to extend upwards, raising the car up off the ground just enough to finish the job. Relief watched over the two, now knowing the hard part was over.
Thank you, Kojima-san. I can handle the next part. You should rest and recover some of your strength.
Not wanting to abandon his fleshy friend, Kojima Photo decided to watch Geoff finish from the safety of his wooden frame. Kojima Photo prepared himself to jump back onto his friend should the need arise. Geoff finished off the nuts and placed them down next to him, being careful not to let them roll away. With a mighty heave, Geoff pulled off the tire. It hit the ground with a mighty thud and flew from Geoff's grasp. Launching the games presenter/journalist forward, the tire hit the ground and sped down the paved road on its lonesome. Geoff had not come out of this experience unscathed, the impact forcing a mighty moan from his pained lips. No longer just able to watch, Kojima Photo rushed to his action, resuming his ghost form and lifting his friend to his feet.
Thank you, Kojima-san.
Geoff brushed himself off and inspected the damage. A large welt had formed where he'd rear-ended the concrete. He'd been feeling that for several nights to come. Thankfully, though, no permanent damage had been done. The tire hadn't been waiting patiently during this time and was already a half-mile down the road.
Well, that's just great. Hopefully we can find it later when we're driving again. Speaking of which...
Geoff turned his attention back to the job at hand, carefully lifting the replacement tire onto the gap where once a burst Geoff-mobile wheel had sat. This new tire was only a temporary fix. It was not designed for high speeds or long journeys, only for use in emergencies to get the vehicle to the nearest mechanic.
Treat us well, friend Tire, and we will treat you well in return.
The tire nodded knowingly. He had been in the closet for so long. This was his moment to shine, to rotate. He would not waste the opportunity the universe had given him. With a new tire in place, Geoff picked up the nuts he played with earlier and twisted them in his new tire friend.
Good tire. Good tire.
He said as he patted the newly secured wheel. Now all that was left was to lower the car. Geoff didn't relish the idea of sparring with the old Jack twice in 1 hour, but what choice did he have?
Thank goodness gravity's gonna do most of the work this time. I'm getting tired just thinking about doing any more cranking.
Kojima Photo began to float towards Geoff, but Geoff waved him away, signaling to Kojima Photo to stay where he was. Geoff didn't need an extra pair of hands this time around. Firmly grasping the jack's length, Geoff began cranking. It took everything he had left, but the car was safely lowered to the ground, sliding the jack out from under the car and giving the nuts a final twist for good luck. Geoff let out a sigh of relief. It sounded just a lot like a moan. Geoff packed up his tools and luggage and piled of old newspaper and got back in his car, but he couldn't help feel like he was forgetting something. He thought for a moment.
Of course!
Geoff rushed back out of the car to his partner in frame and gave him a kiss on the forehead.
How could I forget about you?
Geoff lifted his road buddy into the passenger seat and clicked on his belt.
Away we go!
Eager to continue their Gamescom journey, the car engine spluttered to life, and the two travelers slowly chugged off into the distance in search of their prize, a mechanic to replace the wheel in Gamescom 2025.
There we go.
That was amazing.
What the
Oh
fuck,
my
Midas?
god.